Released in 1987 for the Nintendo Entertainment System, Jaws is a game that remains a curious entry in the history of video game adaptations. Developed by Westone Bit Entertainment and published by LJN, a company infamous for its licensed games, Jaws offered players an experience that was quite different from the blockbuster thriller directed by Steven Spielberg. Instead of pure terror and action, the game blended exploration, resource collection, and combat in a surprisingly nuanced, albeit flawed, gameplay package. By the late 1980s, licensed games were becoming increasingly popular, and LJN had established itself as a key player in publishing titles based on movies, TV shows, and comic books. For Jaws, LJN partnered with Westone, best known for the Wonder Boy series, to bring the iconic shark to the NES. However, rather than attempting a direct adaptation of the suspenseful, horror-filled tone of the movie, the developers opted for something unique. Westone infused the game with RPG and adventure elements, giving it a structure that set it apart from other movie-based games of the time. This decision was likely influenced by hardware limitations and the challenge of translating the suspenseful tone of Jaws into an 8-bit format. The result was a game that bore little resemblance to the movie, but featured gameplay that encouraged exploration and strategy. Despite its innovative approach, the game's short development cycle led to some criticism. The repetitive gameplay, simplistic graphics, and lack of variety were common complaints, though many players appreciated its quirky charm and the challenge it provided. The plot is loosely inspired by the original movie series, but it doesn't follow the narrative of any particular movie. Instead, the game creates its own story. You play as a nameless hero tasked with defeating the infamous great white shark terrorizing the waters. Your journey begins with a small boat and limited resources. To stop Jaws, you must explore the ocean, collect shells, the game's currency, upgrade your ship, and gather the tools necessary for the final showdown. Along the way, you'll encounter various sea creatures, ranging from jellyfish to stingrays, and occasionally face off against Jaws himself in tense underwater battles. The game doesn't feature any significant cutscenes or dialogue, leaving much of the narrative to the player's imagination. While it may lack the depth of the movie's storytelling, it provides a clear and engaging objective: survive the ocean and bring down the king of the deep. The gameplay is a mix of exploration, combat, and resource management, offering a unique blend of genres that was relatively uncommon for NES games at the time. The game starts with you piloting a small boat across an overhead map of the ocean. Your goal is to navigate between ports, defeat Jaws, and collect conch shells to upgrade your equipment. Random encounters occur frequently, dropping you into side-scrolling underwater sequences where you must fend off sea creatures, collect items, and avoid hazards. These encounters are critical for earning points and collecting shells, which act as the game's currency. During underwater sequences, you control a diver armed with a harpoon gun. You'll face a variety of marine life, including jellyfish, stingrays, and small sharks. Occasionally, Jaws will appear, initiating a tense battle where you must chip away at his health while dodging his attacks. These battles can be intense, requiring patience and precision to avoid being overwhelmed. The game features a light RPG element in the form of power-ups and upgrades. By visiting ports, you can exchange shells to increase your power level and improve your boat's capabilities, making it easier to survive and deal damage to Jaws. A bonus minigame allows you to drop bombs from a plane to earn additional shells and points, adding some variety to the gameplay. Once you've weakened Jaws sufficiently, the game transitions into a climactic sequence where you must ram him with your boat. Timing and precision are crucial in this final phase, and it provides a satisfying conclusion to the adventure. While the gameplay can feel repetitive, its combination of exploration and gradual progression keeps it engaging for players who enjoy methodical, strategy-driven experiences. The game doesn't follow a specific Jaws movie, but instead draws inspiration from the series as a whole, particularly Jaws: The Revenge. The inclusion of elements like collecting shells and upgrading your power may be loosely tied to the plot of the fourth movie, which features a vendetta against the shark. Westone, known for their work on Wonder Boy, brought their experience with arcade-style gameplay to Jaws. This influence is evident in the underwater sequences, which resemble side-scrolling segments of other Westone games. Experienced players can complete the game in less than an hour, making it one of the shorter NES games. However, its difficulty and reliance on grinding for upgrades often extend playtime for first-time players. Upon release, Jaws received mixed reviews. Critics praised its unique approach and tense shark encounters, but criticized its repetitive gameplay and lack of variety. Over time, it has gained a cult following among fans of quirky NES titles. LJN became notorious for its movie-licensed games, many of which were criticized for their low quality. While it isn't without its flaws, it stands out as one of LJN's more creative and memorable efforts. Unlike some adaptations, Jaws for the NES had little input from the original movie makers. Spielberg's iconic touch is absent, which likely explains why the game deviates so much from the movie's tone and narrative. While it may not be a masterpiece, it holds a special place in gaming history as a unique adaptation of a beloved franchise. Its blend of exploration, resource management, and combat offers a gameplay experience that, while flawed, remains intriguing and fun for retro enthusiasts. For fans of the Jaws series, the game serves as an entertaining curiosity, offering a chance to dive into the world of the iconic great white shark in a way that no other game has attempted. Whether you're a fan of the movie, a collector of retro games, or simply curious about LJN's library, Jaws for the NES is a title worth revisiting.